So you ask an AI to build you an app, and wow, it actually spits out perfect code. But then what, right? It's just sitting there on your computer. Today, we're going to bridge that final critical gap. We're taking that code from just an AI prompt all the way to a live, shareable URL on the internet that anyone can see. Let's get into it.
You know, this quote from Adam Fay just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures this huge shift we're all living through. The power to create stuff, it's not locked away anymore. With tools like Gemini or Claude, if you can describe an idea, you can pretty much generate the code for it. And this explainer, it's all about taking that next crucial step, moving from being someone who just builds something to someone who actually ships it.
Okay, here's our game plan. First, we're going to start with a massive quick win, getting your very first website published. It's going to feel great. Then, we're going to level up and tackle a really serious challenge that every single AI builder faces: how to handle those secret API keys without, exposing them to the entire world. By the end of this, you won't just know how to publish something. You'll know how to do it the right way, the responsible way. We are absolutely in a new era. You can literally ask an AI, hey, build me a website that explains how LLMs work, and it'll just hand you the code. But let's be real. Code sitting in a chat window, that's not a product. The magic, the real magic, happens when you get it onto a live URL that anyone, anywhere in the world can visit, and that's our first big goal today.
And here's the best part, okay? We're not talking about weeks of work here, or even days. The entire process we're about to walk through, from that first AI prompt to seeing your website live, it can take less than 15 minutes. Seriously.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the practical, step-by-step guide. I'm going to walk you through publishing your first site using really simple visual tools. I promise, no scary command lines, no complicated server setups, just a clear, straightforward path from your computer straight to the web.
Before we start clicking around, let's just demystify some of the jargon, because honestly, that's often the biggest hurdle. When we talk about a GitHub repo or a repo, just think of it as a project folder. That's it. A commit, that's simply a save point, like a snapshot of your files at a specific moment in time. And a branch is just a safe little sandbox where you can experiment with new ideas without messing up your main project. So, folder, save, sandbox. See? Simple.
Okay, so here's the core workflow. We're going to use a tool called GitHub Desktop to make this all visual and easy. First, you create a new repository. That's our project folder. Then, you just drag and drop the HTML and CSS files your AI made right into that folder. You'll see them pop up in GitHub Desktop. Next, you type a short summary, something like "My first website," and click the Commit button. Bam, you've made your save point. And finally, you click Publish, and that sends everything from your computer up to GitHub's cloud servers.
Now, listen up, because this slide is super, super important. This is the #1 thing that trips people up. For GitHub's free hosting to work, it has to know which file is your homepage. So the deal is, your main HTML file must be named exactly index.html, all lowercase. And it has to be sitting right in the main project folder, not tucked away somewhere else. Get this right, and you're golden. Your code is now officially in the cloud. We're in the home stretch. Time to make it a live website. So you go to the GitHub website, find your repository, and click on Settings. On the left-hand sidebar, click Pages. Find the section for Build and Deployment, select your main branch from that little drop-down menu, and just hit Save. That is literally all you have to do. Now, you wait maybe a minute, and boom! The page will update and give you a live public URL. This right here, this is the magic moment. You have gone from a simple text prompt to a real website that anyone in the world can visit. You've officially shipped a project. How cool is that? Okay, so that was the quick win, and it's incredibly powerful for static sites, things like portfolios or project pages. But the second you want your AI-powered app to actually do something, like make a call to an AI API, you slam right into a huge hidden danger. This is the question. This is what separates a quick prototype from a real professional-grade product. An API key is kind of like a password and your credit card all rolled into one. It identifies you and it bills you for whatever service you're using. So what on earth do you do with it? And here's the root of the problem. GitHub Pages is what's called a static hosting service. All it does is serve up files. It doesn't run any fancy server code. What that means is any JavaScript you write gets sent directly to the user's browser, where anyone, and I mean anyone, can just open it up and read every single line of your code. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from the programming community on Reddit says it all perfectly.
If your API key is anywhere in your front-end code, it is, by definition, public. There's no hiding it. A curious user just has to open their browser's developer tools, look at the network traffic, and boom, there's your key, sitting there in plain text.
And the consequences of this, they're severe. A leaked key can mean someone else uses up your entire API quota and you get stuck with a bill for thousands of dollars. And it gets worse. Security experts say there are literally thousands of automated bots constantly scanning public GitHub repositories just looking for accidentally committed keys. Leaking a key isn't a tiny mistake. It's a major, major security breach. So, if you can't put the key in the front-end code, what do? Well, this is where we make the leap from being a simple builder to thinking like an architect. Let's look at the industry standard way the pros solve this exact problem.
This is it. This is the golden rule, straight from Google's own AI developer documentation. Never, ever, ever expose your API key in client-side code, period. All of your requests to the AI service have to go through a backend server that you control.
And here's how that works. It's a pattern called a backend proxy. Instead of your website talking directly to the AI service, it talks to your own private server. Your server gets the request, it securely adds your secret API key, which only lives on that server, and then it forwards the request to the AI service. See? The API key never even touches the user's browser. It's kept safe and sound on your end.
This table just lays out the difference perfectly. The insecure way, the key is public, the user's browser makes the call, and the risk is sky high. The secure, professional way, the key is kept private, your own server makes the call, and the risk is low. It's the industry standard for a reason.
And that proxy server is just the beginning. The pros add even more layers of defense. They store keys in special environment variables, use tools like GitHub Secrets for deployments, restrict keys so they only work from certain IP addresses, and they rotate them regularly, just like you would with a password.
So let's just take a step back and look at this journey. We started with a really quick, satisfying win, and then we dove headfirst into a very serious, real-world challenge. And in doing that, you've gained a whole new level of understanding that goes way beyond just prompting an AI for some code.
You've actually learned two very different things today. The first is a practical skill. How to get a simple website online in a few minutes? That's awesome. But the second one, and this is way more important, is a critical mindset. How to actually think about the architecture of a secure AI application before you even write a line of backend code.
And this right here is the key takeaway. You've graduated. You've gone from just generating code to understanding the infrastructure and the security needed to ship that code responsibly. You're not just a builder anymore. You're starting to think like an architect, figuring out how all the pieces need to fit together safely and effectively.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The new generation of AI tools means pretty much anyone can build a prototype in 15 minutes. That's becoming the easy part. The real question, the one that matters, is can you build it right? Can you build it so that it's secure and so that it can scale? Answering that question, well, that's what it means to be an AI architect today.